It seems to me that everyone keeps trying to say that doing a ketogenic lifestyle is expensive. Well, I'm here to talk about my observations and what I think might be happening there. Hello everyone, welcome to Mind Blowing, Health and Wellness with Violet. Today we're talking about the idea that living a ketogenic lifestyle is just too expensive. First, part of me thinks that that's just an excuse to keep eating the standard American diet, because if you don't think the standard American diet is expensive, when you become on all the different medications that you're going to be on from the repercussions of eating all that sugar. But okay, I digress. That's not what we're talking about today. But it's expensive to live that standard American diet, standard Canadian diet even, expensive. The ketogenic lifestyle, I think people think is expensive because we're focusing on the wrong thing. First of all, there are so many videos online with people making these special keto meals. And in order to make these special keto meals, we need to go off and buy almond flour, coconut flour, flax this, and we have to buy all these xanthan gum and all these ingredients that we don't normally have in our home in order to make these fancy meals that replicate things that we used to eat. So yes, if I decide to start a ketogenic lifestyle, and the first thing I'm doing is running off to buy a bunch of ingredients to make copycat foods of the foods that got me to be overweight in the first place, A, it's going to be expensive. B, it's going to be time consuming because I need to understand how these different ingredients that I'm not used to cooking with come together to make these replacement foods. So that's the first thing I'm going to say, is that if I try to copy someone who's been on a ketogenic style of living for many, many years, and over the course of their many, many years have come up with some replacement recipes, I'm probably going to be discouraged. Okay, that's the first thing I'm going to say. With this diet, you look at what you've already been eating, and the thing that's the most important is what you remove, not what you add. If you want to be successful on a ketogenic diet and do it on a budget, the only thing you focus on is what you are taking away. If I take the bread, pasta, so all the grain stuff, I take away the starchy vegetables, I take away the high carb dairy. If I take away the foods, the refined foods, so all the processed foods, if I take away the things that add a lot of carbohydrates to my diet, and if that's all I do, I will do keto on a budget. Now that sounds really simple, doesn't it? All I need to do is remove the foods that are high in carbohydrates and keep the foods that are high in fat and high in protein. Now here's the thing though. Well, if we look at our current diet, we don't have a lot of foods that are high in fat. So will I have to add a little bit? A little bit I'm gonna have to add, but those things exist in my house. They're just not things that I've been eating. So most people have some kind of oil in their house, whether it's butter, whether it's olive oil. We don't always have coconut oil, but it's something you can purchase instead of buying or replacing the oil that you're currently using. You could purchase coconut oil. Instead of buying the oil that you are currently buying, you could buy avocado oil. So right away, what I can do is I can use the oils that I have in my home to increase the amount of oils that I've been eating, because I haven't been eating oils. I've been on the standard Canadian diet. On the standard Canadian diet, we were encouraged to keep our fats really low. Let's talk about fruit. We spend a lot of money on fruit, partially because we've been told it's so good for us. And it really isn't, right? High carbohydrate foods include fruits. So what can we do? Well, we can take the majority of the fruits out, and we can just keep ourselves to the lowest glycemic fruits that we have, which would be the berries, so strawberries, blueberries, raspberries. I don't even eat those, I'll be honest with you. And avocado, that's what I eat. Rather than buying every kind of fruit in the grocery store, now I've just kind of decreased down to 4. Now maybe there might be other low glycemic fruits that I'm not aware of, and if you do your research and you find others that fit in your ketogenic lifestyle, that's terrific. I'm actually quite happy with avocado, but everybody's different. Again, you need to do this in a way that's going to help you to do it long term. My point is, if the only fruit that I need to concern myself with buying is avocado, how much does that save my grocery bill? Oh, quite a bit. One of the complaints that I hear all the time is that healthy food is expensive. So you're talking now about this idea that, so we're doing keto, it has to be grass-fed. The butter needs to be grass-fed, the chickens need to be grass-fed, and that their eggs need to be, everything needs to be free-run, not even free-run, it needs to be pasture-raised, everything. And this idea that if I'm not doing organic and pasture-raised, then the quality of my food is not good enough, and therefore I shouldn't be doing a ketogenic diet. Here's the thing that I want to put out there to you as an idea. When I'm doing the standard Canadian diet, I'm eating standard Canadian food. which is coming from the local grocery store. So if I go to the local grocery store and I purchase all my refined foods, so all my processed foods, potatoes, if I buy, bread and grains and milk and these kind of things, and I eat that, my standard Canadian diet, is that healthier or better of a choice for me than going to the grocery store and buying the best quality meat at the grocery store that I could afford to buy, whether it's a steak or a hamburger? Is it better for me to purchase nuts from the grocery store? Is it better for me to purchase cheese instead of purchasing milk? Is it better for me to focus my attention on the vegetable area versus the cookie area? When we go to the grocery store, we have choices that we get to make. And I can choose to buy things that will allow me to stay within my ketogenic lifestyle, or I can choose to buy things that put me in the standard Canadian diet. And so at the end of the day, it really isn't about price of the food, right? Because the same way that I can buy hamburger patties or ground beef, and guess what? I get to buy the fatty ground beef, which they sell cheaper anyway. So even if I'm concerned about my wallet, some of the ways that we've been marketing food works in my favor if I'm trying to do a ketogenic lifestyle. My point is this: if I want to purchase foods that keep me in a ketogenic lifestyle, I can do that at the grocery store and I can stay within my budget. I can equally go to the grocery store and buy processed foods. I can go and buy fast foods and quick foods. And even if my grocery bill is cheaper, I still need to think long term, what is that doing to my health and how much will I spend on medication later? It's important for us to think about what we're doing and make the best possible choices that we can make. And my suggestion to you is you do not need to go to a fancy health food store to buy grass-fed beef or grass-fed pork or grass-fed chicken to do this diet. If you can afford that, you've just leveled up, and that's terrific for you. But if you can't afford that, don't do that. You're still better off going to the grocery store and sticking to the outside of the grocery store and buying fresh produce and meats that you cook yourself to create healthy meals that are low in carbohydrates that help you to live a healthy, low-carb, high-fat lifestyle or very low-carb, ketogenic lifestyle. That's still healthier for you. It doesn't have to be organic. Unless you can afford organic, then go for it. But we can do keto on a budget. And it really is about recognizing that whatever is presented to me, whether I'm at my home making a meal, or whether I'm at a restaurant choosing a meal, or if I'm at a friend's house choosing what I'm going to eat, what I'm presented with will determine what I pick. If I have the option to take my hamburger and pull the bread off, or even better, ask for it without the bread, then I make that decision, and therefore I'm eating the part of the meal that I can eat that's healthy for me. Make your own choices and be proud of your choices if they're helping you to feel better, right? Because ultimately what we're trying to do is live a healthier, happier life. And part of that means that I'm focusing on what I ingest. The only thing that we need to do on a ketogenic lifestyle is diminish our carbohydrate intake. And you can do that absolutely successfully on a budget. Ultimately, although I'm a psychologist, I keep saying this, my goal is for people to feel good. And your physical and your psychological work together for us to feel good. So investing in your food, and I'm not saying investing a lot of money, I'm saying investing. Time is an investment. When I take the time to understand what I'm eating and how it affects me, that's also investing. So investing in your food and making the best possible choices with the quality that you can afford helps you to live a better lifestyle. Choosing eggs over a muffin helps you to live healthier. So make those choices, right? It's not about money. It's about choices. I want to thank you for watching Mind Blowing Health and Wellness with Violet, and I look forward to talking to you in the next video.